Llama 4 has just been released, brand new update, and it looks absolutely insane. You can see it just came out a few hours ago here. There's 3 different models here. So you've got Llama 4 Maverick and Llama 4 Scout. So we're going to be testing them out today, and I'll be showing you what the differences are, how they work, etc. One of the biggest differences right here is that Llama 4 actually has a 10 million token limit. It is absolutely insane. You can see a leading context window of 10 million. Can't wait to try this out. It's available on llama.com and Hugging Face. You can also check this out on, for example, Grok. I'll be covering onto exactly how to get access to that later today in this video. You can see some of the key benchmarks here. So this is Llama 4 Maverick, and you can see compared to Gemini 2.0 Flash, DeepSeek 3.1, and GPT-4o. So those are the comparative models right there. And it's absolutely smashing it on pretty much every single benchmark, as you can see right here. Bear in mind, DeepSeek 3.1 is the latest update that just came out about a week ago. All right. And then you can see the needle and haystack tests right here. So this is Maverick versus Scout. We've also got NNL. And we have the benchmarks here versus other smaller models. So Llama 4 Scout, you can see here the benchmarks in the left on blue. And then if we compare this versus Gemma 3, which is Google's latest light model, Mistral 3.1, which is another light model, and Gemini 2.0 Flash, and MMU is absolutely destroying it, right? Llama 4 is absolutely flying, all right? So Llama 4 Scout is what you would try and host locally because it's a smaller model, but it still has a lot of power, right? And then you've got Llama 4 Bearma. Llama 4 Bearma is supposedly outperforming Claude 3.7 Sonnet, Gemini 2.0 Pro, and GPT 4.5. Bear in mind, this is a new model from Meta. All right, so Mark Zuckerberg is behind the Llama 4 model, and it's absolutely flying. One of the things I've always been impressed by with Llama is its ability to just be so fast. It's just redonkulous, all right? But let's come on to that in a second. So if you want to get access to Llama, you can go onto llama.com, and then there's a download section here, and you can request access directly there. Also, you can get access to Hugging Face, as you can see right here. And we can also go to Groq, Groq.com, and then from here, we can start using it as well, right? So there's a dev console section, which we'll come on to in a second. And then also we can switch between the models over here. And also we have Grok Cloud. If we go to the dashboard, inside the playground, we have access to Llama 4, right? So if you want to get access to Llama 4, you can go inside here. Let's also check OpenRouter. So we're just going to go inside OpenRouter, and you can see that Llama Maverick and Scout are available. And these are free APIs that you can play with, right? So you can plug these into your favorite apps. You can see this is very popular inside Rucode and also Klein and all these other models, and it's completely free, all right? So it is comparative to other models. For example, if we have a look at the Maverick benchmarks here, you can see how it's outperforming, for example, Gemini 2.0 Flash, DeepSeek 3.1, and GPT-4o. The difference here, of course, is that GPT-4o is a paid model, whereas you can use Maverick for free from OpenRouter. And I'll show you exactly how to get access to that and how it performs in a minute, all right? So we've got 2 different options here. We can go into Grok inside the dashboard here, or we can go inside OpenRouter. And if you go inside OpenRouter, you can grab an API key, or you can just use it directly inside the chat here. You see how it says Llama Maverick free, so we can test it out. And for example, if we plug in some tests, let me grab some examples here. Let's test it out for creating content first of all. All right. So we're going to plug this into Llama 4. We can also enable web search if we want to link it directly to a web search. And then the prompt that I'm going to test, first of all, is just for creating content, all right? So we're going to say create an SEO optimized article for this. Keyword equals content outline. We're going to delete. For content creation, do this. Include some information about me, who I am, etc. And then we'll hit enter and we'll see how that performs. So we're running Llama Maverick 4. And also what we can do in the background is also run this inside Llama Scout. All right, so Scout is the lightweight model. We can go inside the chat here. We can plug this in. Again, it is free to use, and we'll use exactly the same keyword to create the content. So got the responses right there. And if we go and take that content and then plug it into HTML preview, so plug that in on liveweave.com, we have content right there. Okay. So you can use it for free. Honestly, that content does not look good at all. I'll be 100% honest with you based on that prompt. But let's check now. We've got Scout as well. So this is the content from Scout. Let's plug that in. I actually think the content from Scout looks better than Maverick, to be honest. See what we got here. And that content is coming out not bad at all. It's about 719 words. Blast it out super fast. We're good to go on that. So I actually think for content creation is not that great, but we'll test out on some other stuff in a second too. So what we're going to do next is we're going to do a reasoning challenge on this, right? So we're going to say there's a tree on the other side of the river. How can I pick an apple? We'll run that through Maverick and also through Scout. We'll see how it performs for reasoning. Now, what we're looking for here is basically, number one, can it reason things? Number two, can it find solutions, right? Does it understand that during winter, there's typically no apple trees or there's no apples on the tree, right? And you can see here that actually comes back to us straight away with the answer. I also like the fact that it is very straight to the point. All right, so if you're looking for a creative solution or a story, happy to play along, etc. But in the real world, it's not possible to pick an apple from a tree on the other side of a river in winter. Number one, because the tree is likely bare, and number two, the river is a barrier. All right, and let's check out Llama Scout. So if we just start a new chat here, we'll see how it performs. And there we go. Scout has actually given us a much better response. And yeah, you actually get better answers if you just start a new response right there. And Scout seems to be a lot more wordier when it's doing responses, right? So if you compare the answer from Scout, this is a lot longer, a lot more in depth, etc. Thinks things through a bit better. Whereas, for example, Maverick, it gives us like very short responses, like you can see right there. All right, let's go inside the playground as well, so we can use Llama 4 Scout over here, and we'll hit submit. Look how fast that is. That is ridiculous, isn't it? That was unbelievably fast. Wow. So actually, if you want really speedy results, I would recommend using Llama 4 directly inside Grok. It seems to be a lot faster. Let me just show you an example of what I mean right here. So if we pull up Grok inside the cloud versus Open Router, all right, and we'll start a new chat here, and we'll plug that in and compare it versus Grok. So we've got Grok over here, and we have Open Router over here. And we're just going to make sure we have Scout selected. So let me remove that. And let me change this to Scout. All right, so we have Scout and Scout. These are both 4 models. We're going to go inside here and say, write a 2,000 word article about SEO. We'll give Open Router the head start, and it's writing out. But look at that. Look at the speed. Grok has already come back to us whilst Open Router is still writing out. That is absolutely insane. I've never seen an AI respond that quickly. Crazy stuff. It looks like you can also edit the response as well if you want to. But the fact that Grok is just so fast is absolutely amazing. All right. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to use this directly inside of a tool. So if you want to, for example, use Visual Studio Code, this is free to download. You can get it at code.visualstudio.com. And then you can switch between Klein and also RuCode. All right. These are my 2 favorite extensions for coding. Honestly, I prefer RuCode in general, but you can test them both out right there. If we go to the extension section and you want to install Klein or RuCode, just type in Klein or type in RuCode, hit install, boom shakalaka, you live in the dream, all right? So you can see right there. So if we go over to RuCode, and then we're going to go to settings, and then we can go into Open Router, and let's just check, is Llama 4 available? So yeah, you can see Llama 4 free and paid, right? So those are 2 versions. That's going to be the paid model. That's going to be the free version. Same for Scout and free. Again, Maverick is not available to test out yet. And then let's just have a look. Can we use Grok inside RuCode? Can't see it available in the drop down right there. Let's just check Klein as well. So XAI or Llama, but Grok is not in the drop down right there, right? So if you want to use, for example, Llama 4 inside Klein or RuCode, just select Open Router, and then you can switch between Scout and Maverick. All right. So let's go with Scout just for an example. Again, Scout is the lightweight model. All right. And then we're going to say, okay, create a self-playing snake game just as a little test here. And we'll see how that performs. We're also using boomerang mode. If you've never set that up, check it out inside the AI Profit Boardroom for the full instructions on that. That has literally run out of code of API requests straight away, which is not great. All right. So why are we still on? Let's just switch this over. Make sure we got Scout selected. Hit save, hit done. We'll try again on that. X off there. There we go. All right. Seems to be working now. It's doing its magic. Just be careful of that. Make sure you selected the right API and everything. We'll allow that. Now it's going to create a little subtask. It's pretty fast, to be fair. And it's planning out the code. We'll see what we get back in a second, all right? In the meantime, whilst we're waiting for that, what we can actually do is go inside Groq, inside the playground here. Make sure you got whatever response you want to use. I'm going to just go with Scout for now. We're going to say, okay, create a 3JS runner game. I'm actually going to grab one of the prompts from the AI Profit Boardroom, all right? And I'm going to say, make me a captivating, endless runner game, key instructions on the screen, P5JS scene, no HTML, I like pixelated dinosaurs and interesting backgrounds, all right? And then we're going to plug that inside here. We'll hit submit, and we'll see if it can do its magic, all right? The reason that I want to try that inside Groq is it's just going to be a lot faster to test. You can see how quickly it just came back with the answer. So we'll grab the JS here and just see if it can actually do its magic, all right? So let's plug that in. We'll hit play, and that does not work. Let's just see if we need to delete that. Yeah, it's not working, that is it. It's nowhere near as good as Gemini 2.5 Pro, I'll tell you that for free. All right, so we're going to keep going now. It's creating the JS, etc. Wait for that to load. So we've got the response on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, we've got the code. Now it's creating the CSS. In the meantime, whilst that's coding out, let me show you some other stuff that people are creating with this. So you can see AI and Meta announced today is the start of a new era of natively multimodal innovation. Today we're introducing the first Llama 4 models, Scout Maverick. 10 million tokens on Scout, which is absolutely insane for context windows. Looks like you can actually preview, so you can get an early preview of Llama 4 Behemoth as well, if you want to get access to it. What's pretty crazy here is that Meta's Llama 4 Maverick is hitting number 2 overall, becoming the 4th organization to break 1400 plus on Arena. All right. So it's a number 1 open model, surpassing DeepSeek. It's tied number 1 in hard prompts and coding, and you can see the leaderboard right there. All right. So if we go over to LM Arena, you can also get access to it over here. And then if we go to the leaderboard, you can see Llama Maverick ranking number 2. All right. Only surpassed by, like I said before, a Gemini 2.5 Pro, which I would say is probably the best AI model out there right now as well. All right. But you can see here outperforming ChatGPT 4.0, Grok 3 preview, 4.5 preview, 2.0 flash thinking. Like, it's outperforming all the big boys, right? All the big models. DeepSeek R1, Gemma 3, etc. is nowhere to be seen versus this. So pretty crazy stuff. If you also want to test it inside Arena, you can actually do a side-by-side comparison, right? So you can, for example, use ChatGPT 4.0, and then if we type in Llama, we can select Llama 4 Maverick over here, and we can compare them side by side, all right? So if we give them a test prompt, we can take this one, for example, and we'll go back to LM Arena and plug in the prompts right there, all right? And then you can see how they perform side by side. Just inside the API settings here as well, make sure if you want to use this for free, make sure that you select Scout free, okay? So make sure you select that one, not the normal Scout. If you select the normal Scout, obviously it's going to charge you, right? So make sure you go with the free one. And then you can see the output right there, which is not great, to be honest with you. Look at that. It's just not working at all. So it's okay. I'm going to test it later versus other models. I'm just going to see as well how it performed here. So it seems to have cut off. Let's grab that HTML and we'll copy that and test it on LiveWeave. See what we got back. Honestly, is that anywhere near the same level as Claude 3.7 Sonnet? No. That's the output that we got back from LM Arena. from Llama 4 Maverick versus ChatGPT 4.0. Let's see what 4.40 did as well. So we're going to grab that. So this is the response from Llama 4. We'll plug in the 4.0 response. That's 100 times better, isn't it? With the same prompt. So I'm not sure what people are seeing in Llama Maverick. From what I've seen so far, unless it's just being rinsed on the server, or it's just I'm using it the wrong way, it doesn't seem to be anywhere near as good as other models. So thanks so much for watching. If you want to get access to my community, helps you save time and make more money with AI, feel free to get that link in the comments description. Prices are going up this month, so make sure you sign up now before you miss out. This also comes with all my best automations, agents, workflows, etc. You can also get a crash course on AI along with all my best SOPs. And along with that, we've got an amazing community of people you can ask questions to. So for example, we have 693 members. You can post in the community. Everyone's focused on the same goal, which is making money and saving time with AI. Feel free to post any questions you have. And also this comes with weekly Q&As, right? So if you want to jump on live calls, get your questions answered, feel free to jump on the weekly Q&A calls and ask any questions you have. And additionally, you can watch back the call recordings like you can see right here. Additionally, if you want to get a free one-to-one SEO strategy session that shows you how we take websites from 0 to 145,000 visits this month and generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales on autopilot, feel free to get on this free link building acceleration session. You'll get a free SEO domination plan. So that's a custom tailored game plan to make you more money and save time with SEO to get more customers. And you can also ask any questions you have live on that call, one-to-one with one of our experts. So feel free to get that link in the comments description and appreciate you watching.